Hello. Now, I have been thinking about how wonderful it is, in a sense, that we can respond vicariously. We can see other people who are perhaps in a role that we like. As here, I'm talking as a trans person, that we feel we can actually map ourselves onto. So it's not exactly empathize or just feel we can relate to, but something we recognize in this other person that perhaps looks something like us. We can really imagine ourselves in their place. And I think this is why the likes of pop idols and celebrities and so on are so popular. They are kind of not role models as such necessarily, but kind of archetypes that people can map themselves onto, feel that they're, as it were, playing the role that maybe they would want to play. Now, I came across a video on YouTube recently. I'll put the link for this in the description for this video, um, which was of a wonderful band. Actually, I've listened to a number of their videos. Personally, I like them. South Australian band, which features a number of female vocalists. In this particular video, there were two, a dark-haired lady and a blonde lady. And this is purely subjective, of course. It's purely my opinion. But what I noticed was that in terms of attraction, probably for me, it was the blonde lady that stood out. She had a wonderful smile and very alive, very connecting, very wonderful energy about her, which really appealed to me. But the lady that I felt most closely I could empathize with, as it were, playing the vicarious role, if I had wanted to stand doing the dancing and singing the song in that studio where they were, was the dark-haired lady. And I think that's because, in my mind at least, facial features and perhaps other characteristics physical characteristics that I might have picked up on subtly, seem to be ones that I could map onto. They were closer to what I can imagine myself to be. And when I reflected on another example of how I can often feel that others, I can act vicariously through what others are doing. It is in the case of where males are transformed into females, and I have to be very selective in that. There are quite a large number out there on YouTube, of course. A very good stable for this is the Your Face Sounds Familiar franchise, which runs in a number of different countries. So this is where actors and singers typically take on the role. It's a reality show in which they take on the role of a well-known singer and recreate their dance and song routines. And the roles supposedly chosen for them week on week through the competition are randomly selected, which means quite often they will change gender. Now, over the years and through various iterations of this program, there are literally hundreds of examples of male to female and also female to male transformations, and they are exceptionally well done usually. Obviously, they have very professional teams of stylists and prosthetic makers and so on. So what I've noticed with the Your Face transformations, the before and after, as it were, that I can relate to, they are typically males that I can imagine myself mapping onto in some fairly crude way, perhaps, so the sort of facial features and so on, mapping onto them. That typically means that they are of the same ethnicity to me, and possibly also, let's say, middle-aged or beyond. I mean, most would be middle-aged rather than older generation, I would say. But those that are particularly young, early 20s or whatever, I'm not going to be able to, with the best will in the world, to relate to. So there's something very interesting here with this whole idea of vicarious mapping. It's very powerful. Certainly, if you can engage with the character you're mapping onto, you can imagine being in their place. It can be really quite a wonderful experience. I have experimented with this whole area quite a lot over the years. I won't go into this now, but this is of interest on my spiritual journey. I'm interested in archetypes. I'm interested in um, the idea of oneness, the idea that we can all kind of connect and have an essence at, if you like, a spiritual level. We can, when we transcend our physical selves. But this reflection was particularly on physicality. And I would say also that some of what I do and put on this channel is for, I would hope, the benefit of others who can vicariously, as it were, go on a journey with me when I go to see the likes of Cindy at Boys Will Be Girls, for example. I'm aware that many do not have that opportunity. So actually showing a little bit of my journey, even if you can't vicariously map onto me, at least you might be able to see what goes on a little bit behind the scenes and imagine yourself being there. So do have a look at this video if you want and see what you make of it. Maybe you yourself will feel that you can vicariously map onto, you can vicariously jump into the role of one of the delightful ladies, or indeed one of the delightful guys in the background. There's the ladies that have the prominence in this particular video. See what you make of it.